What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So even though we didn't really get any OCG metagame breakdown report recently from the OCG featuring the new ban list, at least we got some, recent tournament reports with Decklist using some new cards, but again, old ban list, which doesn't really matter for the purpose of this video because I'm only going to be showing the interesting decks and not like Ishizu Trillaments or something because, yes, it is still seeing play, but this was again with the old ban list. Now, I will be explaining pretty much everything about every single one of these decks just so that you can understand, because I think I've been studying this format for quite a lot, actually. Every single time there's like any new article posted on Road of the King, I always try to check it out and understand, because I'm also trying to, look at their games and understand how they play so that I can adapt in the TCG so that I'll be better suited when we get to those new cards from the new set. But anyways, before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram, all the beautiful fun stuff. Now let's get right into it. Alright, so the first interesting deck that I've seen was Teny Sword Soul, and this is a 60 card deck, but not because Teny Sword Soul wants to play a 60 card build, rather just because one of the most popular decks in the OCG right now is the 60 card Super Heavy Samurai Adamantipator Vernalizer Ishizu deck. And that deck can play That Grass Looks Greener. The last thing you want is for them to mill 20 cards against you if you only play a 40 card deck. So the reason why this is 60 card, even though it doesn't really benefit off of playing Lawn Mowing, it just wants to punish the opponent for playing that card. So if both players have 60 cards, your opponent can't mill anything with That Grass Looks Greener. Yes, I still call it Lawn Mowing Next Door, the old name of the card. Yeah, very interesting that they still have 3 Protos. That's ridiculous. The deck is basically at full power right now, playing 12 Handshaps, which might look like a pretty big number, but again, considering the fact that this is a 60 card deck, it translates to playing around like 8 Handshaps in a 40 card deck. Something like that, you multiply by 1.5, from 40 to 60, from 8 to 12, it's pretty much the same ratio. Now, it's playing a lot of utility cards, so 3 copies of Triple Tactic Talents, and then 3 copies of Triple Tactic Tasking. That's crazy, with no particular blowouts to search with this card. No Evenly, no Dark Ruler, no nothing. But the side deck, on the other hand, has 3 copies of Herald of the Abyss. Now, if you side in these kind of cards, and you play against someone who goes for the Secret Village combo, you are beyond screwed. You're going to be losing your games, and that's the reason why a lot of people are playing Kaijus in their side deck. Okay, we can't really see it here, but a lot of people are choosing to play these kind of cards. Maybe Lava Golem, because then your opponent needs like Expertly Noir and a Spellcaster Monster, so, they'll always lose to Lava Golem. But yeah, Herald of the Abyss is a little dangerous, but it can pay off. By the way, if you didn't know, Herald of the Abyss is a searchable card, well, it's because it's a normal spell card, that can out monsters that are unaffected by card effects because it forces your opponent to do an action. So it doesn't clear anything by card effect, but rather by game mechanics. So it's a really cool thing, just like the Kaijus, how they don't really, it's a summoning condition, right? It's not like a card effect. You're not really going like effect of the Kaiju in my hand, tribute over your monster as part of the effect. That's not how it works. It's just an inherent summon that, tributes a monster, just like that, as part of the summoning requirement for the card. But yeah, a very interesting deck, a lot of bestial monsters in the side deck, but just for Ishizu Trillaments. Otherwise, it wouldn't be playing these kind of cards, but would rather be trying to deck build to beat, Kashtira with, whatever, like Purely and, the Super Heavy Samurai deck. But this deck is already well built to beat it, so, yeah, huge kudos to this guy for, I guess, trying to think outside of the box and not play a 40 card deck, because usually Sword Soul is very cookie cutter, but to be fair, when I look at this deck, it still is cookie cutter, at least to me, because it's very minimalistic in terms of, the mentality to build this deck. Everything literally is a 3 of, with, 3 Chi Jiao so that you don't really lose too hard to, Diablosis looking at your extra deck, double Baron, and then, double Baxia, etc., which, makes sense, but I don't know, like, I think nobody in the TCG would ever try to play this deck, and this guy got second in a Hong Kong tournament, so definitely something, impressive. Anyways, the second deck that really caught my eye was Vanquish Soul getting first place at a tournament in Malaysia. And you might look at this and be like, oh, it's a 22-player tournament, nobody cares. But again, invite only, so it consists of the top players from the store qualifiers. That's definitely something. This is a 41-card deck with a huge amount of handshaps for a deck that I wasn't really expecting could actually play that many. I mean, it's a lot of handshaps, but it's not that many for the OCG because they're just wild. Like, because of the fact that they have Maxi and Ash are basically staples in everything. So 6, 8, 10 hand traps. So pretty much like 1/4 of the deck. With, again, a lot of utility cards, and there can only be one. So technically, you could be replacing, you know, there can only be one, Call by the Grave, and Talons for like other hand traps, and you can definitely get to like 16 hand traps if you really wanted to. But are you really trying to play like a lot of hand traps with no other ways to like break boards in case your opponent can, you know, put up one through your hand traps? I don't know. But what is the deck? What are the cards? I kind of know them, but not like, I don't really know their names. I just know what they do. Alright, so one of them is like Heavy Burger or something, Heavy Burger. The other one is Various. So one of them, you can draw a card or like inflict damage to your opponent. And then the other one, you can make it like unaffected by your opponent's activated effect this turn, or destroy a card on the field. So they're kind of like boss monsters of the deck, and that's the reason why they're only played as 2-ofs, and not 3-ofs because they're not starters. And then this monster right here, the 5th one, is a zombie monster that gains like 3k attack or 3k defense. It's not good, it doesn't do anything to like hurt your opponent, so that's the reason why it's only just a 1-of. And then this level 4 monster right here, the fire monster after, you know, the level 6 1-of zombie, is a monster that I believe searches a monster when it is normal or special summon, so it's actually really good. And then right after that is the Spell or Trap Searcher, so another really cool card. And then we have the final Vanquish Soul monster, which is Panthera. It can destroy spells and traps on the field, but if I recall correctly, you cannot search or like get any form of advantage with this card. It's only just like a free extender, because I believe it's kind of like a Photon Thrasher-esque monster. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon it from your hand for free. And again, being able to destroy spells and traps is definitely really cool. So going second, this deck is very, very toolboxy. And as you can see from the extra deck, a lot of ways to be able to make big-ass Zeuses. So you can go into like a Borbo, attack directly, and then Chakanine, or rather, you know, Chakanine first and then Borbo. You know, you don't have to play any Zodiac monsters if you want to go into Borbo and then Zeus for like 4 materials. So that's really, really neat. Actually, I think you can actually go to like a 6 material Zeus in this deck. So the 2 materials, that would be the level 4s, and then Chakanine 3 materials, Borbo 4. Yeah, you would need to play like, I don't know, Hammer Kong and Tiger Mortar if you want like a 6-mat Zeus. I guess it's doable, but it's kind of sussy. And the Constellar engine as well, not really engine, but just like the extra deck. So Constellar Knight Diamond, Deltros, Ptolemaeus, Pleiades, very interesting for sure. It's kind of like Dweller for, you know, against tier elements, but you have more options, because if you want to, I don't know, like go into Deltros to like destroy cards and stuff like that, I guess it could work, but do you really need to do that? Pleiades is very interesting as well. You can bounce back your own cards with Pleiades, which sometimes could actually matter, but it's not like, I mean, it doesn't change that much. The extra deck, you can definitely neglect it. You can play without an extra deck in Vanquish Soul, and every single monster literally has like a different type, and not really a different attribute, but kind of. So most monsters are either Earth or Fire or Dark, and I guess the Link monster is a Dark monster, so Ghost and Mage definitely doesn't work in this deck because you play 3 different kind of attributes. Rivalry obviously doesn't work at all. They're literally all different. So like you got like Warrior, Zombie, Machine, Dragon, freaking Beast, Warrior, Fiend. You got like every single freaking type of the alphabet. The spell cards, I remember some of them were like really good. Yeah, you got a monstery board. You got like a freaking Book of Eclipse-esque card. Really freaking awesome. The trap card is, I think, like a Soul Charge or something. Yeah, it's just a 1-of, but oh my god, just so many things. Like, this deck is so resourceful, as I said. It just does so much. Anything that you want in like a deck, this deck has it, like literally. And again, a Link 1 that gets you card advantage every single turn is just amazing. Like, you can't say no to that. It's just beautiful. And the Infernoble Arms Durandal, which can actually search the Monster Searcher. So it's really nice to see that you can search your starters very easily and very conveniently with, you know, Reinforcement of the Army, Durandal, etc. So very, very consistent deck. Absolutely going to have a lot of potential in the OCG. And the fact they can play, again, a lot of hand traps, floodgates, etc. definitely helps its cause. Now, for the side deck, is there anything noteworthy? Again, with the Herald of the Abyss and 2 copies of Triple Tactic Tasking, this is so freaking popular, but again, very dangerous in case your opponent goes for the Secret Village combo. Again, a lot of people are playing that with the Cobalt Eagle and the Bridge of Salvation. So it's the Crystal Beast package. You don't really need to like go terraforming into Secret Village or hard draw Secret Village. You draw Bridge of Salvation with like a purely memory quick play spell card. You discard the bridge and then you search for a Crystal Beast monster and your field spell. But if you draw the Crystal Beast monster, you are fucked. That is the last thing that you want to happen. Like literally, it's genuinely the worst case scenario. But yeah, very cool deck. I understand it quite well, but I can't really say that I would be able to play it very well. Now, a deck that I do not understand whatsoever would be Valiance. I know that there are some FTKs with this deck. It's really gimmicky. It's kind of like a Mech Knight Pendulum deck. But what is really, really interesting is the fact that he's playing a super heavy Samurai Prodigy Wakushi with no Big Benkei, no Soul Piercer, no Bike, nothing. It's really just like another obscure super heavy Samurai monster that probably does nothing. It's only really there for the scale. And yeah, that's it. It's really minimalistic. Alright, so Secret Village should be easily searchable because of Majesty Pegasus. And that's, by the way, I know this might sound funny, Draco Slayer is actually a really good deck next format. First of all, if you go first, you search Secret Village and that shuts down like every deck. But also, going second, you can go normal summon a monster, search a card, and win the game against a lot of decks. I'm not gonna spoil too much. If this video gets 1 million likes, I'll spoil the sauce. So in other words, probably not anytime soon. Yeah. But yeah, oh my god, Draco Slayer's freaking nice. I always wanted to unironically say Pend best deck. Steven probably believes it, me a little less, but whatever. Pendulum will always have a place in my heart, by the way. Pendulum is really the best deck. Not really, but kind of. Fossil Dyna is not a random one-of. Absolutely not. It is searchable by Galen Granite. So the combo, you go into Prodigy Wakoshi without using your normal summon, and then you play as much as you possibly can, and when you Pendulum Summon at the very end, you go Special Summon the Galen Granite, you Special Summon the Fossil Dyna, and then you kind of just win the game. So, very disgusting. If you can put up like an Omni Negate with a Fossil Dyna, like Baron de Fleur, you're always going to be winning the game. So, yeah, that's really funny. And another thing that's funny is if you summon Boiled Sword to turn 1 with Fossil Dyna, your opponent cannot like normal summon a monster and attack over the Fossil Dyna. The Boiled Sword can put it into defense. That's really stupid. It's never gonna come up. Alright, we also got Lava Golem in the side deck as well as the Kaiju monster. So this time, no Herald of the Abyss. So again, there are two ways of clearing the annoying ass Expurely Noir. It's just, oh, I hate that card, man. Just, it draws so many cards. It's just so painful. And everybody's giving up on Exceedon Core. I'm really gonna have to make like a video on all the ways to like beat the deck and everything, but yeah, nobody's really, agreeing on anything. They're always, like, so conflicted. Sometimes we see OCG metagame breakdowns where everybody's playing Kaijus, and some other times it's, like, only Exceedon Core and Herald of the Abyss with tasking. But yeah, whatever. The rest of the side deck, nothing spicy here. Denko Sekka, very interesting, because, it doesn't really play any trap cards or any cards that you want to be setting. Imagine drawing Denko Sekka against this deck, however, Eldlich. Now, this is, again, another interesting Eldlich deck. It's really aggressive, right? 8 hand traps. That is not average whatsoever for Eldlich. That deck usually doesn't play hand traps, and when it does, it's only max C, and that's it. Like, you're not really trying to play Ash and Eldlich. If your opponent draws max C against you, you don't even Ash the max C. You let it resolve. You're special summoning one monster anyways. Who gives a damn? But yeah, Rivalry goes in match, fun for the whole family, a lot of floodgates, skill drain. This card is gonna get limited, so big rip, I guess. Not really. It doesn't really change too much. But yeah, 2 Regeki main deck, which is very freaking interesting. Jesus. And yeah, the extra deck basically just is a bunch of cards for Dogmatica Punishment, even though it's only a 2 of, and there's like 14 targets or something. Alright, and the side deck, again, 3 Lava Golem, because, screw Herald of the Abyss, we're not trying to play that card in Eldlich. You're not using your normal summon ever, so why not? It's really funny to see Extravagance, but no Prosperity. No, actually, it makes sense, but I would be playing 3 Extravagance, to be honest. Anyways, 3 Exceedon Core, finally someone who's playing that card. 3 Evenly, 2 Dark Bribe, what? 3 Solemn Judgment. Dark Bribe, really? I think I would play Lord of the Heavenly Prison over Dark Bribe at this point, unless you're really trying to only negate Evenly, because Imperial Iron Wall doesn't do anything about Duster and Lightning Storm. It only really prevents evenly matched, but yeah, Dark Bribe is just like really dangerous, actually. You might not be able to use Dark Bribe. Like, your opponent can go Prosperity into evenly matched, and then, you activate evenly, your opponent cannot use Dark Bribe because you already searched a card with Prosperity, so you can't draw a card. So that's a ruling that I've explained in the past. If you're still confused, you know, ask me a question. I'll try to like clarify it for you. But yeah, very interesting again. And this is there are a bunch of ways again to play purely, but this is the most standard one right now with Shaddoll Beast and Brow. A lot of hand traps again. No more DD Crows. DD Crow is a searchable hand trap because of the rank 1 Lyrilusk monster, but it kind of sucks unless you're playing against Tishizu Tier Elements. And Metal Force Fusion is another card that acts very similarly to Shaddoll Beast and Brow. The problem with Metal Force Fusion is that you can play Integral and Logbird, and Shaddoll Beast and Brow, they allow you to draw cards in your draw phase, because the purely cards are pretty much all quick play spell cards. So as long as you're doing your searching and draw phase and drawing and draw phase, you will never lose the Drool. Drool can only be used outside of the draw phase, so this is very clever. Metal Force Fusion plays into that, so I'm not a super big fan, but it's still a really cool card. That card was played in Sky Striker because you know, you want to Foolish it with Foolish Barrel Goods, or you want to draw it and then send it away with Area 0 or Metal Force Fusion. So it's really spicy, but it's not like super broken. Like at best, it's a break even, and at worst, you draw Metal Force Fusion off of Metal Force Fusion, and that is story of my life as a Metal Force player. So yeah, that sucks. Anyways, look at this extra deck very carefully, because this is going to be the only thing that you're going to be seeing for the next, like, I don't know, like 4 months or something, as soon as we get this deck. This deck is going to be everywhere, and I am absolutely not looking forward to this absolute cancer. So, yeah, screw purely. Again, the same deck right after that. Almost identical list. The only difference is that this deck list is not playing Ash, but still, Shaddoll Beast and Brow, no Hedgehog anymore. People are cutting this card for some reason. And also, this build is not playing Metal Force Fusion, sorry, and this one was. And the side deck is also still kind of similar. Kurikara, on the other hand, which is a card that we're seeing a lot in the TCG, but for some reason, in the OCG, Kurikara is not really popular at all, because Kashtira is also losing in popularity, even though it's a really good deck. It's actually way better than people think, because, you know, they lost like 2 Fenrirs, 2 Unicorns, and 2 of their Kashtira field spells, but the deck is still respectable. Yeah, Dimensional Barrier in the side deck, that's pretty much like the only deck that okay, yeah, I spoke too fast, but yeah, not a lot of people are citing D-Barrier. It's actually, ironically, really bad against Tishizu Tier Elements. You might think that it's broken, but they can do like so many plays outside of just fusion summoning. It's really not just a fusion summoning deck at all. And it can also do the fusion summoning on your own turn. So like you're gonna need like 2 dimensional barriers if you really want to stop them completely, which is unrealistic. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to show you guys for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about this OCG kind of compilation of decks in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.